Hey everybody, I hope you guys are all having a good week, man. I got to go to a Cavs game last night. It was a lot of fun. My mom took me out on a date, so I had a mom date. It was a blast. We were like 13th row. It was super cool. Her work got her tickets, and so we were blessed to be able to go. It was a fun time. The reason I say that is last night my mom and I were having a conversation. I don't know if you guys know this, but my mom has gone through really a tough season over the past, I guess, like 2 or 3 years. October of 2015, her mom, my grandma, passed away, and then 2 weeks later, my aunt passed away, which was her sister. And so my mom lost her mom and her aunt within 2 weeks of each other. And then over the past year, I got married, and I left, and now I'm like an adult, and I live with my wife, and she doesn't really take care of me anymore. One of my sisters is in nursing school, and so she's not home a lot either. And then my youngest sister is in school as well, and so she's really not around at all. And so my mom went from 18, really 20 plus years of taking care of us, and that being her main priority. That was her purpose, and she did an incredible job. And so talking with her last night, we had some good conversation. And what I was learning is my mom is on a spiritual journey just like the rest of us, and she's stuck. She doesn't really know what's next for her. And so it was cool for me to really think about the spiritual journey, to think about knowing God, and then finding freedom, discovering your purpose, and making a difference, and thinking about, where's my mom at? Where is she at in this season? Does she need to know God? And I think, yeah, that was true. I think it'd be helpful for her to know a truth, to know something that God says about her, to know God in a way that maybe she hasn't known him before. Not just head knowledge, not just opening up your Bible and reading it, but really, really knowing who God is and having that relationship with him, that intimate connection with God, to know him. Is it that she needs to find freedom? Yeah, I think so. I think she's still working through a lot of hurt and loss. With myself being gone, her mom and her sister being gone, my sister's not being there as much. And so I think she needs to find freedom from that. And as I'm thinking about it more, and as I was talking with her and processing it out, I was like, Mom, what's your purpose? How are you wired? What gifts has God given you? What situations has he put you in? And then I asked the question, how are you making a difference in the lives of the people around you? For me, it was an eye-opener to realize that the spiritual language is not just something that fits our church. It's not just a language that we're trying to make our people familiar with so that we have language for the sake of having language, but the spiritual journey is what all of us are on. And in every season, and in every shift of season, it's important to find the place where we need to know God more. What do we need to find freedom from? How do we discover a little bit something new maybe about ourselves or the situation that we're in? And then ultimately, how do we make a difference in the lives of the people around us? Because that's what God has called us to do. He's called us to help people take their next steps. So I share that. I don't know if you've gone through Growth Track yet and heard that language and heard the spiritual journey. I would invite all of you to do that. That's every weekend at the 5:15 and 10:45 service. And throughout March, by the way, if you're a 10:45 volunteer, that'll be offered at 12:30. And I'd love for you to go through it. Go through the experience. Don't do it with a closed mind and a closed heart to say you know it all already. Go in with an open mind. Try and learn something new about what's your next step, because we always have a next step. I just want to challenge you to figure out what that is. Well, cool. Just a verse that reminds me of that conversation I was having with my mom last night. I'm going to pull it up really quick. Ecclesiastes 3:11. It's one of my favorite verses. If you know the book of Ecclesiastes, it was written by Solomon, who was the richest, most wealthy king. And he writes this: "Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time. He has planted eternity in the human heart, but even so, people cannot see the whole scope of God's work from beginning to end." That's a reminder that God is constantly working, that even when we're in transitions from season to season, that there is a bigger scope that sometimes we just can't see. So I hope it's a reminder and encourager for you today. I don't know what season you're in. I don't know if you're transitioning seasons, if you're in the middle of a season, if you're maybe trying to figure out what your next step is. I would encourage you to go through Growth Track and really begin to think and pray about what does it look like for you to know God, find freedom, discover your purpose, and make a difference. Cool. I'm going to go one more minute with just some quick hitters. Number one, we want to celebrate FX. You guys, what an incredible night. We had 80 volunteers there. We got to serve over 500 families here at the, not families, but 500 people here at the Perrysburg campus. We had 1,400 people across all of our campus, 1,400 plus, a bunch of new families, so much popcorn handed out. It really was a fun night. If you have a family, I hope it was great for you. If you have some thoughts or feedback, feel free to send them my way. We're gathering that right now as we think about what it's going to look like for us in the future. Great. One more quick hitter and reminder. Our group guides, if you're a small group leader for preschool or for elementary, you can find a video that I'm making for the elementary, and that Jasmine Jasmine Walbum is making for our preschool. And those are just walkthrough videos of the outline. So if you want to watch those, they're like 2 or 3 minutes. And then after that, read the outline, and it should all flow together, and you should have a general understanding of what the weekend's going to look like for you and your small group. Cool. Those are the quick hitters I have. Guys, I appreciate you all so much. It's been a crazy month. We've had a lot going on. I just got back from winter retreat this weekend. Seeing some of you students get to connect with other leaders and open up in ways that you wouldn't have otherwise opened up was so cool too. And it's also cool to know that our high school ministry really helps run our kids ministry. And for those of you that stepped up this weekend, I know a couple of you that I saw hang out. Emily, you were here a bunch of services. Thank you. Melissa, you were here a bunch of services. Kelly, and so many more of you who hung around and did things that you don't normally do on the weekend. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to go and pour into some students at winter retreat, and then also just filling some of those gaps and those holes. We got 9 people from Growth Track this weekend who are interested in our ministry. We're pumped to get them going through the onboarding process. Guys, ultimately, we want to help families and kids grow together. We want to help walk kids through the spiritual journey. I am super excited about this next season that we have, about bringing in quality people just like you to help serve families at this church. Guys, thank you for being passionate. Thank you for being committed to being a part of this team. I love serving with you guys. We get to make a difference, and it is such a fun thing to do. So be encouraged this weekend as you lead your small groups. Have fun, connect with them, teach, enjoy the time that you get to spend with your group. I know for me, I've got my group tonight, and I lead a group of guys, and we play basketball, and it's one of my favorite parts of the week. And there's even mornings where I'm like, I don't know if I want to go, but then I leave, and I'm like, I'm really glad I did that. So I hope you guys feel the same way about serving and being a part of our dream team. Well, thanks, guys. Sorry that video went a little longer than I thought. 7 minutes. My bad. Well, have a good week. We'll see you guys this weekend.